Okay. All right. I can see when the sound is clear. So believe it or not, at what lengths will religious organizations go to foist their religion and their indoctrination and beliefs on people? Well, they got to start with the youth. Believe it or not, the youth pastor asked students to cut him with a steak knife for an Easter lesson, and the parents were disgusted. Says they are disgusted, so it wasn't worse. So this is something that recently happened. The video that was uploaded was deleted, and I believe because of the nature of the situation, it was pretty gruesome. So the video is not available. This happened, my friends, at an Ohio church, and it has issued an apology for this craziness after a video had surfaced online of a youth pastor encouraging middle school and high school students to spit on him, slap him, and cut him with a steak knife for an Easter lesson. We know what that whole story is about. But the act of doing all of this is far fetched. But it goes on to say it was meant to illustrate Jesus Christ willingly endured during his crucifixion. And so obviously parents weren't having that. They thought the lesson went way too far. So Pastor Jadius Dempsey of the Impact City Church, and correct me if I'm wrong, I may not be saying this name correct, but it's Patascala, appeared on Facebook Live to take responsibility for the lesson. So this was completely my idea again, he says. So I let the students know that there was no repercussions whatsoever. And Dempsey said that in fact, even several of the students felt bad afterwards. And I told them it was what I had asked them to do. So I get what he was trying to show, but still, it was over the top, if you ask me. It was going too far. So I guess these are the students, and they were making their comments on some people. I don't know if this is related or unrelated. It looks as though it's related because it was connected somehow. And so it didn't look like people were very happy. But anyway, that's pretty much the story on this one. This is a short article. This was out of Lifestyle. And so, yeah, believe it or not, there's a movie that is coming out. I don't know the whole story behind it. There's some things in some magazines, like Time magazine says the story of Jesus Christ. And since this weekend is Easter, I'm sure that some people traditionally will flock to some of these churches. Be careful what you're getting involved in, please, people. If you're going to go to these churches, be careful if they ask you to partake in these situations. You know, just have to be aware of what kinds of things that you're going to be exposed to or exposing other children, to, if little kids saw that, I don't think they could separate the fact that he was just showing a lesson. They would think that it was okay, especially if they're not knowing any better. Even if you explain it, they maybe try to interpret it as, okay, I learned this at a lesson at school. They would do it on their classmates and they say, I learned this for Easter. Can you imagine children going into a classroom and spitting and slapping and using some sharp object to cut another student, saying that I just wanted to play they role play in school, little kids. I just wanted to do what I saw in the an Easter play. I wanted to role play, and you be Jesus Christ, and I'll be the people who are doing all the bad things to him. And so it's just like kids will play, they'll play Indian, or they'll play, some kids do that. Some kids will play cops and robbers, or they'll pretend like they're a doctor, or they'll pretend like they're some other person or something they've seen over the weekend. And Easter's sort of, for some people that celebrate it, it's like a big deal for kids. And so what they see in these churches, if you represent that, they're gonna mimic it and they're gonna go back to school and do it. Like maybe some middle school or high school kids will probably kind of get it, but it does seem like it goes too far. But well, what are your thoughts and feedback on this? This seems should they you know maybe have somebody to get rid of this pastor, or should they ask, well, what was his whole intention other than just trying to show um, a comparison to the story of Jesus Christ? Do you think this is just all for show or what? Too far fetched? Let you be the judge of that. My opinion, I think it was too far. It was going too far. If you think about little kids, they're not going to be able to understand that this is just a play. He was trying to put some realism into it. I don't know. I'm not religious, and this is one of the reasons because I feel like they try to shove the religion down people's throat, and it gets to the point where it does become far fetched. Well, that's what you sign up for if you get involved in these groups. But anyway, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for listening.